Today, I'm going to talk about 5 things I think you should know before relocating to Florida. Hey, I'm Megan. I'm a local realtor. I specialize in Flagler and Volusia Counties, and these are conversations that I've had over and over again with people relocating. So I thought I would just put it into a video. I'm speaking in generalities. Every scenario is different, so I want to preface by saying that as well. But let's get into it. Starting with number one. If you're financing, expect that you're going to need to have a job here locally in the area of what you're buying, or you may need to be able to supply a remote job worker letter. Otherwise, you could potentially be in a situation where you're having to buy as a second home if it's your primary and you're basing it off of your current job, wherever that is. And that could come with a higher interest rate. Of course, a lender can help you navigate the ins and outs, but these are situations that I have seen come up many times where people ended up needing to either be remote or have that job letter and be here in Florida, have a job here in Florida. Number two, the job market is different here. Don't max out your budget and have a plan B. With that, I want to preface by saying that a lot of people come from areas where the pay scale is very different. And especially if you are a remote worker and you're bringing your pay scale with you from where you're currently at, that's amazing, especially if it's better than what you would make here, right? But what happens if you lose that job? If you max out your budget, you could end up in a bad situation. I've seen twice this year, I've had former clients turn friends be in situations where they lost a job that they've been at remotely for a very long time, and they were now faced with having to navigate these challenges. So, something to think about. The job market's different. Be prepared. Don't max your budget. Don't be house poor. Number three, can you be away from your family, your friends, the mountains, the snow, your hometown, whatever that is for you, whatever it is that you're worried you're going to miss? Can you be away from that? Because you got to really think, is this the right move for me? Because for some people, they get here and then they discover it's not. And that can be a really costly mistake. So take the time to think about, is this the right move for you? And also, if you do decide it is the right move for you, you got to be careful because if you over improve a home, you may not get all of your return on your investment. If you over personalize a home, you could be in the same situation because look, if you put mauve carpet in a house, most people aren't going to like that mauve carpet. So you got to think about these things. Also, cost to sell, closing cost, expenses, moving cost, all of this is where it gets costly as well. So if you end up needing to sell, you could potentially lose a lot of money in all these different areas. And especially if you're buying, say, in a new community and there's new construction, if you decide you want to sell shortly after purchasing, you're competing against the builder at that point to sell your home. And I actually just ran into this where I met somebody. They've been in their home for about 6 months and decided they just really miss family and wanted to go back. And it's a sad situation that I see happen. It's not uncommon. So think about that because they were in a situation where they were potentially going to lose tens of thousands of dollars because the builders offering incentives and rate buy downs and all of these things, and then the cost of moving back. And a lot of times people furnish their home here in Florida, and maybe if they don't want to move all that back, then there's the cost of all that furniture that you're going to leave behind when you sell a home or get rid of. So things to think about. Is it the right move for you? And look, if you decide it is for sure the right move for you, that leads into number four. Buy a home for you, not your friends and family, and don't sacrifice on what is important to you. So if you know I have to have a 3-bedroom home and you go buy a 1-bedroom home, you may end up regretting it, right? If you are adamant, I am moving because I want a waterfront property, I love boating, and then you don't end up buying a waterfront property, you very likely will regret it. Um, Unfortunately, sometimes people will fall in love with a home themselves, or, you know, for whatever reason, emotions get involved and they sacrifice on what they have on their must have list, and they end up regretting their purchase. And if you know you want land, But then, and that's what you say over and over again, I want land, I want land, I want property, I want property. And then you buy something where the houses are 5 feet off from each other. There's a good chance you may end up being very unhappy with your purchase. So really think about that and buy a home for you, not your friends and family, because if you're buying a house that's way bigger than what you want and need with the expectation people are going to visit all the time, just be prepared that that potentially may not be the case. You may end up with a lot of wasted space and you may end up feeling like, hey, I should have bought a smaller house. Okay. And last but not least, 30-day close is common in our area. A lot of people are surprised by that because, all over the country and even outside of the country, what you see commonly for closing timelines differs. And especially from the Northeast, I have a lot of buyers that are surprised by a 30-day close even being a thing. And so it's important to know so that you can set your expectations and plan around it. Again, this is talking in generalities. Every situation and scenario is different, but food for thought. If you are in an area where it's 2 to 4 months to close on your home, you've got it under contract, you may have a hard time getting a seller to accept your offer if they can't close for 4 months because what's normal in our area. And it's also really important to think about, does it make sense to maybe wait to write an offer? Can you handle the stress of waiting when your home is under contract? Or does it make sense to maybe pack out some pods, put all your stuff in storage? And does it make sense to move down here into an Airbnb and shop here after you've sold your home and you don't have the contingencies and you can close at your leisure? Just things to think about. So, food for thought. I hope this video helped. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm very happy to help you. And if you already relocated to the area, did you run into these situations? Was there anything you were surprised by, or anything that you think buyers should know before moving here and making that same decision that you already made? Maybe you can help shed some light on challenges that you faced as well. Um, anyway, I hope this video helped you. Leave a comment in the comments. If you think you're able to help the next person, that's awesome. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.